Hey guys, this is my 4th run on DFFOO Global Vayne's Intersecting Wheels Step Severe, and as you can see at the start, this run is a full Auto Plus run featuring the combo of Gladiolus and Reno's FR. With the right setup, you can actually just hit Auto Plus and enter the battle and just wait for it to end. This video is sped up, but in real time it took about 12 minutes plus from start to finish to end the battle, and since it's Auto Plus, you can actually just start the battle and go and watch some television or something and come back about 10 minutes later. Regarding the setup, there are a few things that you really critically need to do to enable this setup to work. First off, with Reno, you want to unequip his numb skill, which is his S1, because his numb skill will cause the bosses to delay themselves whenever they do a physical attack, and you actually don't want that to happen. Secondly, I use Garnet here as my aura bot support, and her overhead attack every 4 turns also does nicely with this strategy as well. With Garnet, what you want is to unequip her EX skill. That's mainly because her EX skill is an instant turn and will actually burn through your force time when she uses it. Finally, and quick disclaimer, I will also list down the setup in the video description as always, so you can also check that out to see how I set up the party before the battle starts. Anyway, lastly, what you want to do is actually remove all the speed passives from Gladio and Garnet. For Reno though, you actually want to equip all his passives. That's right, this includes his speed passives. I did try it first with Reno's speed passives removed, and the fight actually took longer. The main reason is that in an Auto Plus run, what you really want to do is to enter force time before the enemies. If you make Reno too slow, what happens is that his turn gets too infrequent and the bosses will have a high chance, or I should say higher chance, of triggering their force time before Reno gets a turn to use his force attack. With speed passives equipped, at least you are very likely to enter force time before the enemies do. The main damage dealer here is actually Gladio with his counter attacks, and the two reasons why this strategy works really well on this stage is that firstly, when the enemies are above 40% force gauge, they get a 50% turn rate up. So eventually you'll see, if you look at the turn order bar, you see a sequence where they get many consecutive turns in a row, which is ideal for a counter strategy. Besides that, both Ardyn and Golbez actually have a lot of physical attacks in their kit. So this actually allows Reno's FR to plus 50% when they get a turn, and eventually you'll cap out at 900+% before his force time even finishes. The only drawback in my setup is that I actually dismantled my Great Sword ultimate weapon earlier this month, so my Gladio actually only has his EX weapon equipped. If you have a Great Sword ultimate weapon, you'll probably complete the fight in lesser than 20 turns total. Gladio is the tank of choice here because Gladio is actually immune to debuffs. The Golbez HP thresholds include a 59 and 90% trigger attack where he'll use Binding Cold to try and paralyze you, but since Gladio will cover everyone and he's immune to debuffs, that attack doesn't actually do anything. If you don't have Gladio, one other option might be Age, but I haven't tested Age yet. Anyway, I'm about to enter force time because Reno's turn is coming up. Notice also that once you enter force time, the enemy's force gauge actually pauses or freezes, and this actually helps the strategy because they are sort of locked in where they can't enter Force Time, but they still benefit from the 50% turn rate up from their Force effect. This strategy overall is fairly consistent because most of the attacks here that can deal HP damage are single target, and Gladio will cover everyone, and with his LD buff, all the damage is mitigated down to 0. And since he takes 0 breath damage, Gladio also technically can't really be broken here while his LD buff is up. If you don't have Reno's FR, what you can do is wait for the next event where Core will be released and use Core's FR together with Gladio. That should also work pretty much to a similar degree. So I'm already at close to 400% Force bonus, and I'm actually just taking my first turn in Force Time. Eventually really you'll hit at 900%, so while damage at the start might seem a little bit low here, pretty soon you'll see where the bosses are just practically melted down when you hit like 600-700% Force bonus, and Gladio is countering every single attack that the bosses do. Well, pretty much that's it for this fight. Kick in, relax, and enjoy the rest of the battle. And as always, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe because it really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Shinryu fight. Bye!
Shiva